All right. I am streaming. Things are looking good. Maybe my audio needs to be a little louder. Testing, testing. Man, I haven't set this stuff up in a long time. It has been a long, long time. Oh man, I even forgot to put music on. I need music. Let's do. Hopefully, this is still public domain music here. Blah, 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 blah. All right, for anybody tuning in, I'm just looking for some music right now. Maybe I can use some like low frequency music. It's usually what I do. Maybe I shouldn't have started until I put this music on. I just forgot. Woof. Let's see. I think this is it. All right. I wish it was an easy way just to put on music and I get like tagged. When I used to do streams, I used to use this app called Pretzel, and they said it's like you can click the public domain one, but I used to get flagged all the time on my streams. Maybe I'll still use it. No, no, hold on. Let's see. Do I still have it? I don't. Okay. Also, okay. All right. We are here. The stream has started. It's been like 10 minutes. Welcome to the stream. I haven't streamed in a long time. I'm gonna be I'll put a marker on for this, but I will be hanging out, and I haven't used Blender in a while. I've been busy with some client work and stuff, but we're gonna do a stream here. I have no plan. I'm just gonna go in and make something colorful. I actually have to set up Blender again with all the add-ons and stuff that I use that come with Blender, and set up some settings and stuff because I had to do a refresh on my computer, and I inserted some new hard drives and stuff. So gonna have to set things up again. And yeah, and for you, Wab, hi Grease Monkey, hi Wab. Thank you for joining me on this stream. So let's begin. There's a few things I start with when I do my Blender. So since I do if you look through my channel, I make very colorful, vibrant color stuff. Blender set up so it could have this filmic color. It usually has like a flatter color to brighten up the colors. I usually set this up to standard. Maybe I could show the difference later when I have some more stuff on the screen. I set it to standard, just makes the colors pop a little bit more. There's a whole technical explanation of this color management stuff that you should definitely look up, but that's what I do. I gotta make sure that Node Wrangler is installed on my thing because I'm gonna be using nodes eventually. Node Wrangler. So yeah, I have Node Wrangler, Node presets, Node arrange. But yeah, so we're gonna do those. And I don't know. I think we can kind of start. So instead of 24 frames, let's do 30 frames a second. 1920 by 1080. Let's reset our camera. Oh, you know what I don't have on here? Do I have screencast keys? Oh man, I may have to download screencast keys. Oh, what a rough stream we're already starting. Screencast keys. So right now I'm looking up an add-on that'll show my keys on screen. So that's what I'm doing right now. Getting it. Screencast keys. And let's hope it's updated for this recent Blender here. I sure hope it is. So let's turn that on. All right, so I have it here. Screencast keys. It is now on. Let me hit save so it'll always save on here. Okay, so I don't see it. Let's see if we can turn it on here. There it is. Let's make it bigger, mouth size bigger, maybe the font bigger. And let's change the color to something that fits the theme here. We got blue, and let's see what else we got. Hold status, the last operator, I guess. No, we'll just leave it as is, and we'll go from there. Okay. So I think I want the aspect ratio I want to do. I just want to make some abstract colors and shapes to kind of refresh the juices here. I haven't streamed in about a few months, I think 3 months. I was gonna start streaming in 2023, but decided to do this one early, and go. So what we'll be making here is just colorful stuff. I don't think we're gonna be making anything intricate, just quick art that lets me feel good that I made something. This is a selfish endeavor. This is not for you, it's for me. So let me fix my chair. There we go. Let me fix the camera. There we go. And okay, we'll start. So I'm going to delete the cube and delete the light. We're gonna start off with no light. And I also think I want the mouse stuff on the right. Oh, it's kind of like hidden there, isn't it? That's kind of bad. There we go. There. I just prefer it on the right. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Okay, so then I'm going to reset the camera. So that's Alt-G, Alt-R. I'm going to rotate it on the X, 90 degrees. I'm going to move it on the Y, -10. Okay, we're going to open up a couple things here. I'm going to open up these two windows. For this window, I want to see what the camera sees at all times. So let's take off a lot of this stuff here. So this. Usually I have all this set up, but man, have I not done this in a while. We're going to make a square render. So 1080 by 1080. I'm going to hit home here, so it centers that. I'm also going to remove a lot of this information here. Like maybe we're going to take off the gizmo, right? Navigation tools, object. We're going to go here. We're going to take off text info. And the 3D cursor. I think that's pretty good. We're going to remove this menu item here. I forget how to remove this. Oh, it's with the headers. Show menus. So we're just taking off everything. We're just taking off everything. We're just going to make it normal. There. Okay, next thing I want to do is I'm gonna hit the home key. Okay, the next thing I want to do is in my camera view, I definitely want this to not be like transparent. I just want it to be black. So we'll put the passport out. We'll change it to black. You'll see that can't see anything behind there. There we go. And for this one, I'm gonna put the shader, and then we'll see where we go from here and stuff. So this is generally how I like to work. I also think this is all cluttered too. That we can take away I never use the navigation stuff. So that's good. This collection I'm going to call utilities. So utilities is where I put all my lights and cameras and nulls or empties and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do with that. Let me just fix my camera a little bit more. There we go. Okay, utility. I'm going to make a new collection. We're going to call this main. I think I like this, that perspective. We're good. Da da da. All right, there's a couple of settings I also want to set up in the preferences for input. No, for interface. Hold on, I'm thinking here. System. We'll make sure that CUDA's on there, so it uses my card. I have an 2080 Ti. I think it's like two generations ago, pretty long ago. And we're also gonna do pan middle mouse. It's usually orbit. I like pan. That's just me. We're gonna save these preferences, and I'm also going to hit File and save this as the startup file. So every time I start my Blender, it starts this way, and I think that's good for me. And then I'm gonna fix one more thing here. I think what I'm going to do is change my music. This music's too intense for me. We're gonna put some rain. Let's see if that's any good. The video file says no copyright, lo-fi hip hop 2022. Let's hope that's true. All right, now it's a little loud. We'll lower that. There we go. I think we're good now. This is just 30 minutes of me setting up. Okay. We are good. Let me close this, close this. All right. So generally when I think about making abstract stuff, I think about colors. I love playing with colors. I love playing with shapes, making like abstract looking art. So the first thing I want to do is set up my background to look pretty. In this screen, I want to make sure I'm in the rendered view. Doesn't make a difference, but you'll see now. So all right, so howdy. Good to see you in the chat. Thank you for joining me. Okay, we're gonna set up the shader editor because we're gonna be coloring the background. Right now, there's nothing. I'm gonna put an object in the middle just so we can see that it's here in the middle. Can't see anything because of the light. So I'm going to paint the background. We're going to world. This is some standard stuff. I should really just have a preset. Since I have Node Wrangler, I'm going to hit Control T. That'll input the necessary nodes that I need to put in what I want. So we need a texture. We need mapping. What we don't need is the environment. If you have the Node Wrangler, you hit Alt S, or no, Shift S. You can change that node. I'm going to change it to a texture, which is right here, and then I'll put gradient map. And you can see my gradient map is set up incorrectly. I wanted to be kind of a gradient from top to bottom. Standard stuff I do all the time. We're going to rotate it on the Y. We'll do 90 degrees. We'll lower it. on the Y here. Very easy. And you can see my gradient is there. You can see the gradient here. Let me take off this grid. It's a little intense. Take that grid. We'll take 3D. There it is. So yeah, this is what the world looks like. The top is white, bottom is black, and that's because of this gradient here. And we can also change the color for that by using a color ramp. So Shift A, we'll do a converter color ramp. Nope, not color combine, color ramp. Everything should stay the same because we're just doing the color ramp, but now we can change the colors here and we can kind of play around with some very standard typical colors I like to use. You can see that the object's being illuminated by oh shoot, where's my menus? Oh, here it is. Okay. There's a couple things I'm going to take off. Floor. Actually, just take off everything. Okay. There we go. So we got some colors going. I don't think I'm going to use these colors. I always use these colors, but we'll use some different colors. Let's do like a yellow red. Huh? Make it like fire. All right, we're going to do this. Take off these lines. We're kind of left here with our fire. And I think for right now, that's how I'm going to set up the, you know, the background, unless I wanted to experiment with some textures. So let's see. So to add in a texture, maybe I'm playing way too early. Let's do a standard texture. This is standard stuff. Let's do Verone. And for this Verone, I'm gonna hold Shift and Alt, connect these two together, and I'll do a mix node. Kind of adds in this funky Verone texture here. We can change it here to, let's say, smooth distance. I'm just gonna try some different ones. We got like stars, which I find interesting. Euclidean. Looks like cells back there. We can make it a grid. It's kind of a fun thing to look at. Looks fun. Looks interesting, I guess. We can randomize it again. Maybe we can play a little bit with it here. Add in another color ramp right after it. It doesn't change much, but it will change once I hit constant here. You know, now we got like these gradient spheres. Got it bubbling. Maybe that's a fun thing. Maybe if we take the randomness off, we'll get the this interesting look, which I guess is cool. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll put random. We're just playing around. Let's see. All right, maybe I like that. Maybe I needed to be. Maybe I like that. But let's flip the colors here. You know, maybe. I don't know. We'll leave it as is for now. We will leave it as is for now. Okay. So that's all set here. What I'm going to do is I have a toon shader that I made, and I don't have that set up here at all either. So let's see if I can set that up. Where's my preferences? Am I doing this wrong? File, isn't it file preferences? Is it edit preferences? Yes, edit preferences. Let's go to the thing that I can put the file paths under. my user library, document but assets. Okay, we're not going to do that. Let me set this up on the right place here. Oh man, I feel so out of whack. I feel like I haven't done this in ages, which I haven't, but Blender materials. Let's see. Okay, so asset Blender materials, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So let's see if my asset manager is here. I do have some assets in here that would be good. Let's see. Where's my asset manager? My muscle memory is all gone. Here it is. Asset browser with the user library. All right, these are all my shaders loading in. There we go. Debone Day, hey man, how's it going? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. I'm reacclimating myself with Blender. I need like to reset up everything. Let's see, large. Like, I don't know if this toon shader is the right one or if it's solo or the toon shader. Okay. All right, so we got that. There's another library I have. I have a bunch of objects that I want to put in. So let me go to Edit, Preferences, and let me add in that file path. I'm moving the file path to the right. I don't know what's on my computer, so I gotta make sure no one sees. All right, so I have Kit Bash, and then I have models. Let's hope I put the right ones. Let's do Kit Bash all add asset. Let's see if those assets come into play now. There's my Kit Bash objects that I've downloaded in the past. So maybe I'll use some of this stuff. I guess I'm just adding it in just to add it in, really. All. We'll use small or tiny. There it is. And we can see all the hundreds of little objects I have in here. Quite the amount. I'm gonna save it. I'm good, man. Can I ask you how you would animate a Veroni pattern so that it would appear and sort of grow out of the middle? Let's see. Animate a Veroni texture so it would appear and sort of grow out of the middle. So what are you trying to achieve exactly? Like, what is this? What I guess if I have some insight of like what is it for, maybe I can better do it because I guess there's a couple ways to approach that type of thing. So let me finish. Let me take this all off here. Go back to my gradients, and then I will see about that. And then maybe we'll do something shader related there. Okay. So I'm gonna make a new scene. Call it main. And then we'll make a new scene to answer that question. Let me save this somewhere. That makes sense. 1 second. 11, 28, 22. Okay. All right. This is saved. Okay, so you said that you want to animate a Veroni texture so that it would appear and sort of grow out the middle. Let's see if I even know how to do that. So let's go to, I'm gonna make a new scene, completely new. It is dark because there's no lights in here. So let's add in a sun. Let's add in a, a mesh here. Oh, it's dark in here. So we're all lit up in a very moody way. Um, Let me add in some ambient light. So I'm going to go to world. I'm going to add in, let's not do the gradient that I made. For main, I'm going to make a new one. We're just going to make it gray. There it is. So it's easier to understand what's happening here. Okay, and then we're, instead of doing a object, let's do a plane, and let's figure out what you are asking. I'm gonna make the plane a little bigger. I'm gonna add in a material. Let's start from scratch. We'll do Veroni Grow. And if anybody's watching and they want to chime in, please do. I may be doing it the wrong way. Okay, so we got our thing here. Let's move this sun away. Let's add in a material. Here's the material. We're gonna do this with an emission shader so we can see it clearly. Let's do an emissions shader. I use your rain effects Slytherin Magic said. Good to see you back. I use your rain effects blend file, a tune shader, and shouted you on Insta. Thanks for all your hard work and dope files you share. I appreciate you using it, Slytherin, and I appreciate the shout out. Hopefully I can come back and make some more useful stuff. I've been off the saddle for a while. All right, so let's first break this up. You want a Veroni texture. Let's do a Veroni texture. So we got the emissions. Let's do a texture. Texture Veroni. We'll add this in. Let's do the color instead. Color. There's our Veroni texture. Here it is. I assume maybe you don't want the color, so would you do distance? Would you do position? Position looks nice just because of the colors, but yeah, sorry, I'm trying to make a monochrome Veroni pattern, sort of a rockish grayish, that individual pieces pop in and out. Okay, I think I'm understanding what you might want. Jiraj, hey, Goose Monkey, long time to see. Unfortunately, I can't stay right now. Just came to say hi. Well, Jiraj, thank you for stopping by, and hope everything's going well. I know you're doing your studies and you're making progress, and that's awesome. So I hope you have a great night. I think it's nighttime, right? All right, so basically what you want is two textures, right? You want a texture that's Veroni, and then you want it to pop in and out, and so you want it to mix with something else, right? So if you wanted something to be random, you do a mix shader, and that could be, man, I'm so out of whack. It's been a while. You use a mix shader, and then we'll do an emissions just to, we'll color it something like green or something. We'll put that there. You'll see that it has like a green tint. And then you use another texture to use it as like a matte, right? Or a mask, right? So let's just even use a Veroni texture. Just use another texture here. And I'll put the distance here. And then to make this more extreme, let me see if I can. To make this more extreme, I would use a color ramp. And you'll mess with this here. And then you have, like if this was black, right? You'll now have, masking in the Veroni texture. All right. right? And then you can animate this. I'm not sure if this is what you mean, but instead of using, you know, linear here on the color ramp, you could do a constant. Then you have a more like harsh line. You could do B-spline, you know, and then this gives it a bit, I guess it makes it look kind of 3D, but it's whatever you want. So let's go back to linear. Now we got these orbs, and that basically you just have to use two textures and mask one out of the other. And then to control the Veroni texture better, I would add in a mapping texture coordinate, and then you can size these up more. Make them really tiny, make them really big. You can use the rotation, and this will have like a bubbling effect. You know, rotate it. You know, and to make these, I guess, similar, like kind of animate together, you can do an input value. Let's see if I'm right here. We'll put this into, let's do a convert separate, combine XYZ, and then we'll have it only on the Z axis. We'll put that here, and then you can also put that on the Veroni texture. Then you have these Christmas lights. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, it's because this needs a mapping node too. So you put this into the mapping node, put this into the location, and I'm still wrong. Hold on. Oh my God, I forgot how to do all my stuff. Would you be able to get the hard Veroni shapes instead of the round? The hard ones. I assume you mean like the faceted ones, right? Let's reverse all this. Yes, I think you'd use color then. So you'd use color. And then now you got this going on. And I thought that adding this here would make sense. Oh, it does. Here it is. There it is. And then you have these Veroni textures going through, you know, and if you don't like the color, you can like, I don't know, add a color ramp after the Veroni texture. Then you can make it whatever color you want, make it harsher and stuff, and then move it, you know, have something like that, I guess. Actually, it looks kind of neat. Let's see, if we do a combined, it's separate. Looks funky and cool. Can you get it to grow from the center? So, okay, so I think for that, we'll need to make, let me see how, let me think on how to do this. So what you could do a couple things for this. There's one where you can use a mask. So there's one involving UVs and there's one doing masks. Let's work through both and see which one looks better. So the one that I'm thinking of is let's start off with a blank emissions again. So let's disconnect what we have so far, just white. And what we want is for the outside to be transparent and the inside to be a circle. So let's do that, and we'll do that by using a mix node, and we'll do shader mix, and then we'll do a transparent. So we'll go to shader transparent. If you're an Eevee, you have to set up your material to have. I'm gonna put shadows to blank, but the blending mode should be onto alpha blend. And that should do that. Okay, and then now that we have, you know, we have it either be completely transparent or completely white. So if you just 0 means this one, and if you put it to 1, that means transparent. So we want a circle and we want to mask it, right? So let's get a texture. And the texture that we want is, let's see if I remember. I think it's gradient again. So we'll do gradient texture and we'll change this to radial. Okay, and then just to see what this looks like as we're working with it. Okay, no, let's not complicate this. Put it back. Let's put the gradient texture on radial and then put color. And it doesn't look like anything. And I think that's because we have to mess with some settings here. So let's get a color ramp so we can control the color ramp. All right. Okay, so it's not radial. You can see that it's radiating from the bottom left here. So we're gonna have to change the center. So let's change the center, and we do that by controlling the position of the texture, which is through this vector, and we'll use do Control T on it. It'll add in the necessary stuff you need here. So you'll need a mapping and a texture coordinate. And now we can move this center, and I think the center is 0.5, and then we'll do 0.5 on the Y, and I think that's not what I want. Hold on, let me think here. So instead of radial, do spherical. Or is it quadratic? Or is it easy? Let's do spherical. Let's mess around with this. And see, we're working together here. I'm trying to remember Blender. There's my circle. There it is. So it is about it's negative 0.5, negative 0.5. There you go. And then we can scale this down or not. There you go. We could use the color ramp. All right, so now we have the circle that we want. So everything around it is transparent. Everything in the center is white, which makes it visible. And we're going to use this as a mask. So let's see if I am doing this okay. So dun 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 dun. Okay, so this section here is my mask. This essentially is my mask here. So I'm gonna put a frame on it. What is the shortcut for that? Is it Shift F? Nope, it's not Shift F. I'm gonna figure out what the thing is. Frame selected. It is Shift P. Okay, Shift P. Here's our frame. We're gonna name this circle mask. So we know this is our circle mask that we can tweak further on. And I think we did most of our testing here. Okay, good. So let's delete all this. We got our circle mask created. All right, here it is. We'll connect back to our Veroni texture. There it is. Okay, and then we have our mask here. So to mask things, remember, we just have to use a mix node and then use this as the factor. So let's duplicate the mix node. We'll put the second input as this Veroni texture. So we're inputting that Veroni texture. And then we're going to use the circle mask as the matte. And then we want everything else to be transparent. So we'll add a transparency. And I'll explain this again. I'm all over the place right now. Transparent. I'll put it here. Okay, and now we'll connect this. And it doesn't do anything. Let's flip these. Okay. So from what it looks like here, I have my mask that's the circle, and it's stopping, you know, my circle here in the Veroni texture. So we can have it grow out this way, maybe. Let's see. Maybe this is not what you want, but we're working through this problem right now. Yeah, so we have it in the circle here, but what you want technically is, I guess, for it to grow at the center. And I think we could do that with like some geometry. So let me look at something here. Maybe you could facet the circle in a way. Yeah, I think you could. I think you could. And actually, you definitely could. I'm trying to figure out if I should mix it. I'm gonna look it up right now. Okay, so I was doing some Googling. There's a couple other ways. So let's before we continue into this one, let me try my other idea, right? So my other idea would be like, um, I'm gonna use a mesh, or is it a surface? Let's do a circle. I'm gonna add a circle, and for the fill type, I'm gonna do triangle fan. So let's look at what that looks like here. Here it is. And if you could see, this triangle fan goes all the way around. And I know this is another trick, so I'm gonna add in the Veroni growth onto this one. And I see that I'm cutting it off perfectly. So this is doing the same thing. I thought it would come out the middle. So let me I'm gonna go into edit mode, hit unwrap, and I'm gonna unwrap spherical? No, unwrap cylindrical. Okay, this is not working the way I thought. Light map pack, smart UV. Oh, that's right. So in the material, I'm gonna make sure it goes onto UV here. There's my issue. So let's do cube. Let's see what this looks like when it animates. All right, let's unwrap it a different way. How about we unwrap it? All right, maybe this idea is not gonna work. I thought it would. All right, well, let's go back. Go back to the original. All right, so you said make it faceted in a way, so instead of it being like a perfect circle, right? Like have it more faceted. So let's do that. And I think we could do that by mixing this mask layer with something. So let's do a color mix, a mix RGB. We're gonna mix that. We're gonna hit add. We're gonna add in another Veroni texture. And I just want to see what this does. Add a color ramp to it. Let's put it on a sharper thing here. Honestly, we should probably just use the Veroni texture that we have here. So let's do this one. And then when we move this guy, this, I mean, it's like in a circle and it's more faceted, but I feel like it's not what you're asking for still though. Converter math, separate or combine. All right, is there like did they ever add a node for time, or do I still have to do like, do I have to add it in my own Python code still? Let's see, light path. All right, we're just gonna add it. Input value, and if I remember correctly, we'll add in a drive. No, we'll do this. Was it frame divided by 30? We'll do something like this. Is it frame? Oh my goodness. All right, it's going way too fast. We're gonna edit it again. Let's do divided by 30. How about 5? Way too fast still. 10, maybe 20. We'll do it on the Z. Okay. As far as we're growing from the middle, I think I'll need some more time to figure out how that would work. But this is generally how it would be nice. That looks like a piece appears growing circle. It would be nice that it looks like the piece appears growing circular and don't change color. Now, I think I'll need more time to figure that out. All right. Hopefully that helps you, put you on a right path somewhere. I'm going to go back. It's definitely interesting what you figured out. This much. Thanks a lot. No problem, D. All right. I didn't want to be here too long. Maybe like probably 1 more hour. So let's see if I can make something vibrant. In the meantime, okay, so let's play with some stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into this mode here, put in the grid for you to be able to see. There it is. I'm going to add in a plane, go to edit mode. Is it Alt M, Control M? What's the merging thing again? I forgot everything, guys. Ugh, merge vertices. Oh, it's just M. M, we'll do at cursor. I did that just so I have one vertices. This is probably an easier way to do that too. I'm gonna hit E to extrude that vertice, and I'm gonna make a shape. Nothing fancy for right now. And I'm gonna add in a modifier, and I'm gonna add in a screw modifier. And the modifier looks fine. Basically, it gets that line, and then it makes a shape that goes all the way around it. Like that. Anyway, so let's make some interesting shapes here. So we have the screw that goes up. We can actually continue to make it make circles. Have an interesting shape there. Before we add in the screw, we can add in a subsurface above it. Would that make it look nicer? Or below it? Oop, I did solidify. I meant subdivision. There it is. So subdivision first, subdivision after. We'll do first. All right, we're getting some weird, not weird at all. A nice circular candy thing going on here, and we can make it go further. All right. I got a text, one moment, and we'll keep going. We're hanging out here. Anybody in the chat, say something, and we can talk idly. All right, so let's play around with some of this shape here. Maybe we can add in some interesting shapes. There, this could be like a tower or something. this. All right. Just so we can distinguish that background from the foreground, let's add in a shader. I have like a toon shader. Let's see if it works. Sometimes I don't like using it. So let's add in the toon shader. And it's already not looking great. All right, we're not going to do it this way. We're going to do it differently. What we're going to do, so we're going to add in a principal shader. It's impressive that you're doing all this by memory after such a long time. Good work so far. I've used your toon shader to make Raven from Teen Titans. Thank you, Slytherin. Yeah, it's nice that you find it impressive. I feel so out of whack right now. I am like out of it. Like I feel like I'm stumbling across this whole thing. But thank you, thank you. Let's make it metallic. Let's make it less rough. And so right now I have it so it's supposed to be glossy, and you see how on like this dev it has like reflections and this doesn't. This doesn't have any reflections because it's literally reflecting what's on the outside. So we could do a little trick here. Let's trick it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna keep the color from the background, but we'll make it reflect something else. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Jeez, I should have freshened up before this. Okay, so shader, let's make shader. And then we're going to do input camera data. Nope. Input light path. Okay, okay. And then for the glossy ray. This is terrible. This is so terrible. Let's see if it's even gonna work. Let's see. Well, I can control the color individually here, which is like interesting. But I want it to have like a weird reflection on there. So I think what I have to do is, let's see if I remember this, is I'm going to hit Control T on this, and I have a HDRI. Let's see if I can get it here. HDRI. HDRIs, HDRIs, HDRIs. So I've collected some HDRIs in the past here. So let's do like something with a lot of lights, like this one. Okay, and there's like my crappy reflections on there. And I guess that works. I guess it is the glossy ray. If it's glossy, it will show. If I didn't have that on there, no, it would look pretty weak. But this gives me the glossy that I'm looking for. This is kind of like a trick, right? Like I'm making it reflect something that's not actually existing, in the world. So it gets the color, it gets the reflection. And I hope that works. I think it looks weird. I'm gonna put the subdivisions afterwards. Maybe do a different reflection. What if it's this one? Okay, that looks a little better. Okay. So this is definitely getting its reflection from the outside. Like if it's dark, you'll just see the reflection on here. And I like that, but I'm gonna decouple. I want this to be its own separate color. So what I'm actually gonna do then is make another mix shader, and I'll do is camera ray. I'm guessing right now. Is camera ray. We're gonna add in that to the mix shader, and then we're gonna put in an emission shader to do a test to see if this works. Okay, emissions. We'll do it like a color we haven't seen, like this light blue, and we'll connect this. Okay, so this is kind of working the way that I want it. So right now, this isn't being affected by the outside. So I think what I need to do is I need to flip these. So this one, needs to come first. It's probably so confusing for people watching. I'm sorry. We're working through it. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Now we have the background color blue and this colored as my background, and I can control the background color here. Okay. So let's flip these. Okay. I'm getting closer. I lost my reflection. I'm like breaking my brain right now trying to think of this. Okay. And we want this to also have the reflection. So would I do this? No, that breaks it. Okay, I think we're getting closer. I think. I want something so specific. All right. So, do that. All right, we're going to start this over. We're going to start this over. We're going to do it right. I've confused myself to all heck. All right. Let's get rid of everything. We'll hit save. We'll do cleanup. All unused. Okay. Let's get our screw modifier. Starting from scratch. We'll add in that. But instead of this, I'm going to do something different. We're just going to add in a circle. Rotate on the X. Make a donut. We're going to put this 2 meters. I think that's how tall this thing is. We'll do 360. And then we'll just make a bunch of these. We'll right click. We'll make sure we hit smooth. So we have a spring. Let's position this correctly. Right there. Okay. We got our screw. Now it's dark. So let's add in a background. Go to the world. We'll make a new one. It's gray. We'll hit Control T and add a color ramp. No, a gradient. This is what it looks like so far on the left side here. Good. We'll rotate our gradient 90 degrees. Generated map, gradient, background. Okay, good, good, good. We'll add in the color ramp. We'll add in the fire colors, black color and red. Good. All right. It needs to rotate 90 degrees here on the Y. There we go, 90 degrees. Beautiful. Red's on the top. You can even see it here. It's looking interesting. All right. We'll get the texture on the coil. We'll call this coil. Coil.000. Beautiful. Materials. The toon shader, we'll take this off. We'll do a new one. We'll call this glossy. We'll make it glossy. Let's make it that. Take down the roughness. There's the glossy. But I want it to reflect something else. We want to cheat, right? This is not a realistic render. So let's add in a texture, which will be an image. The image texture we'll do is an HDRI, and we'll do something like this guy. Okay. We'll hit Control T so it adds in what it needs here. And I'm going to add it for the texture coordinates. I'll put reflection in the vector. On the we'll put it here. And we'll put this as the base color. Okay. So this is definitely weird. Okay, so instead of putting, so it looks weird because it's interpreting it as flat. We should do it as a sphere. Okay, so we got this sphere looking thing. Great. Looking creamy. All right. Rotate. We can rotate the reflection on here. All right. This looks somewhat interesting. We have some control here. These are the colors. All right. We could change into a different HDRI. Let's do this one. Interesting. Okay. What if we did it on emissions instead? All right, so it's turning white because the HDRI is white and we're emitting from it, I assume. So we can control this color, finally, by adding in a color ramp between the environment map and then changing these colors. Am I right? I am right. But okay, so now I have another issue. The issue is that it's turning white. Like it's getting overly bright. Also, I have no lights. And it's accepting. So right now it's being colored by the outside world. So what I want to do is, instead of it being colored by the outside world, I just want the background to be seen and this not be affected at all by the outside color. And that's when we do input, light paths, mix shader, is camera array. Put this up top, and we'll leave the bottom one empty. We'll leave the top one empty. So now we got our background with the color, and the object is dark because there's no light. If there was a light in here, as for example, we would put in the sun lamp here, we should be able to see this being lit. So now we have a background that is not affecting our objects. That's what I want, because I want complete control of how this looks. Okay, so now we go back to object. Now, since I want it to be a reflective thing, we're doing like a weird hack cheaty thing, and we're gonna add this back to the emission color. And now put this emission to 1, and now it's more or less more controllable into the color. And this is when I can start playing with colors a little bit more. And then now it's about choosing a good alternative to that red and black. Let's do something, or red and yellow. Let's do something close to it, like a color like that. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. This is kind of what I've been looking for. I can rotate the reflections to make it look, decent. Not decent, but just differently. And it has its own little reflections. Let's try some different ones. Let's try this one. That's good. Let's try this one. That's interesting. Okay. Okay, let's try one that is like of an actual place, right? I got these from HJRI Haven. Let's do this bedroom. Okay, this looks intense, but more or less, it's kind of what I've been wanting. There we go. Because now what we can do is we can put the roughness up. But the roughness doesn't work. Okay. Because we're cheating by using emissions. All right. So, okay, so this is one way to do it, which is nice because I can control the color. But let's see if we could do it one more way. Let's go back to dark. So now nothing's being affected. Dark. We're gonna go back to the world settings. We have it so the background is this, but what is actually affecting the object is this right here, which is nothing. That's why it's black. So we will make a background layer, duplicate it, and we'll add in all the necessary stuff for the environment. And then I'll add in one of these studio lights, and then I'll put it in here. Okay, so now I do have the studio lights affecting this, and this looks a little bit better. This is what makes it bright, but we'll just keep it at 1, and then this is the reflection that we have here. That's good. Go back to world object. We don't need this reflection thing anymore, but what we do need is this color ramp, because we can put the color now, and then that should affect the color. We have a white brim, and that's because my object, my reflections, that HDRI is white. That's why we got that white brim. But can we change the colors here though? Let's see. Can we change the colors here? We can make these rougher. That's good. That all works. I thought there was a color one here, like, is it specular tint? Let's see. I guess we could take the specular off. But if we did want to change something, we could. Oopsies. We could add a color ramp after our HDRI here. Like something like this. Let's make it black and white, actually. Let's just make it black and white. Convert, color ramp, make it black and white. Okay, and then I can affect the white end, or is it the black end? This adds in like some more control. We're gonna keep it black and white for now. We got metallic. I think I like the metallic. And we could take off. We could just do like a light specular. This looks fine. We'll do this. Something else we could do is we could probably make it a gradient from top to bottom. Maybe that'll look nice. So let's do a texture gradient. Same thing. We'll do input texture coordinates. Nope. We'll do a converter. What is the mapping? Hold on. I'll just do Control T. This is why I do Control T. Control T. We'll delete that. And we'll connect these. Here's our color ramp. We'll do generated. We will rotate it on the Y. That's what it is. We will bring it up. All right. We can also stretch it, right? But I think we could do this with a math node. Does color make a difference? No. So let's add in a math. I'm going to do convert, separate, X, Y, Z. We'll just do this on the Z. So this is controlled. This controls it there. We can hit multiply. Okay. Now I kind of have like a color ramp going. Can we then add these colors with a mix? And one can be dark. This could be light. Do this, and we'll do an add. Multiply is what I meant. We'll make this a dark color. Then when we switch these colors, okay, don't like it. We're just gonna make it super bright. There it is. Okay. Whew. What a process. Okay, so we're almost there. If I could just have a nice little render here at the end. And then I can add in a hue and saturation. Because we can change the hue pretty easily here. Add in saturation. We can add in the value to 2, make it real bright. Honestly, we could just put this 0.5, or is it 0? Yeah, 0.5. And then we can switch to colors here. Let's see what they look like. We're plugging in a color ramp into roughness work. So the way that that works is that, like I'll put it in now, just so you can see. But that's essentially like a matte, right? So like, so let's do it. Let's do it for you to see. Hold on a second. What's happening here? You. Okay. So for the roughness, it basically shows like an even. So what roughness says is like perfectly smooth, perfectly reflective, to perfectly rough. So it's like super matte, nothing is reflecting off of it, right? So adding in a color ramp to this would just do this. It would just do the same thing. You see, it just does it to the whole thing. And maybe if we add it to, let's say, this right here, like we add the color ramp, we can make maybe the top half reflective and then the bottom half not reflective. You see, so I have it so now the bottom here is like matte and then it progressively gets not matte stuff. So that's what that does, right? But what you could do though is you can add in like a texture and then that'll add in some sort of like quote unquote realism. And then what we'll use, the one that I like to use is it Musgrave? There's one that I like to use. FBM, is it? Yeah, maybe. All right. So then we're getting like this roughness here. Let's see if I can. All right, let's try a different texture. Maybe it's not FBM. Maybe it's multifractal. Doing something wrong here. Hold on. Let's add in T generated. All right, let's change it to a different. Let's do Veroni, something I can actually see for a second here. All right, I need to put something extreme. I can't see it. Interesting. I can't. It's all looking even to me. That's what I'm looking at right now. I'm just trying to figure out how I can make it look a little bit more extreme. All right, this is more noticeable. Is that the only way? Oh, here it is. Object. Object. All right, so let's go back to Musgrave and let's go back to that FBM that I was talking about. There it is. We'll do a linear. We'll do the scale. Still a bit extreme. So instead of making it so it's completely like not reflective, instead of white, we'll do like a grayish color. That'll make it look like it's kind of stained. So add in some irregularities into it. All right. I see. I'm not sure if I'm right, but I use height maps and color ramps in my roughness when appropriate. Yes, and then I'm going to add this to the height map. So let's do that. Convert. What is it? A normal? Or like a bump? Let's add this to the height here. Put this into the normal. And it's looking textured. You know, kind of gives it like a I don't know, like a type of a beat up metal or something. It's kind of interesting looking, honestly. I think what I want to change is the height map. Not the height map, the HDRI that's being put in here. Let's try some different ones again. You know, let's do like a real bright one like this one. Let's keep trying some different ones. Maybe a nice little soft one. What I don't like are these dark colors at the end. Not enjoying that. Can I change these colors? Let's see. I can. Okay. Okay. So let's put this more like into a yellow space to match the background. And like I said, I kind of like that roughness look. Put that there. We'll go back to object. Top yellow. I'm not sure if I use it already. I'm not sure if you use it already, but there's a program called Materialize that uses the Fuse original base color image, and you can create height, normal maps, and ambient occlusion, edge maps, and more. I have not used it, but I've had a program like that way back when I used to do this much more often. But that's great. Materialize. I will make note. Yeah, let's try some different material, not different materials, different some different ones here. And it's free. Materialize. That's the magic words right there. Flip these. There you go. What I see is something in this height map. I like the look. So let's add in the screw, and then we'll add in a subsurface so it's a little bit smoother. That's an interesting. I don't know what's happening there. I think it's the subsurface, huh? It's really cutting into it. If I hit smooth, how about if I hit shade flat? Yeah, it looks faceted, shade flat, shade smooth. Let's see if I put subsurface before. Same difference. I mean, it's kind of neat though. Looks kind of nice. You know what I mean? You can always add some bloom on here. There we go. All right, let's add some more to this. Let's add some more iterations. You know, we can add in an array, get it in close. Do we have ambient occlusion on? Ambient occlusion. Now you can really see it. It's pretty cool. So control the factor of ambient occlusion. Do some precision here. There we go. I like it. I used to be able to, if I remember correctly, I used to know how to control the ambient occlusion. This is cool so far because we could also change the colors of this, you know? I like that. We could change some colors here. Let's add in one more array just so we could fill it out at the end there. There we go. And for the camera, I'm gonna do a 200 millimeter, get real close, and then move it back. So let's do that. It seems to be clipping out, so make sure that your camera's clipping is far. There it is. All right, let's control the camera a bit here. I do like this, but let's go back. Let's take off the subdivision real quick. I mean, it looks good smooth, you know? Okay. So I think what I want to be able to control here, can I control? I don't know. I know you could do it in cycles. But like the AO, what's the AO looking like? Okay, I do like the AO, but can I control it from here? I can control it, but can I change the color? So I can't control the AO. See how I can add it to like the edges there? Oh, but it adds it like kind of in all with these weird spots. It's kind of a nice way to add in a weird like. All right, so that's looking kind of interesting. Whoa, it changes by the distance here. This is weird. Whoa, what the heck? That's super weird. It's not what I expect. So weird. It's not gonna be green. I'm just seeing the colors for it, but definitely some weird stuff going on. So let's put this back on. And what if we did like a mix shader? Not a mix shader, sorry. A mix color. Mix RGB. Instead of green, we did something else. Mm. These artifacts here are interesting because yeah, they're from the HDRI, you know? So it's kind of so weird that it gets darker on the left side though. Okay. Anyway, let's make this wider. Let's do 1920. All right, and if we got the coil and we rotate it, it's kind of interesting. All right. Let's add in some weird effects here. That's funny. Okay. So I want this gradient to be a little bit more pronounced. Let's bring the gradient closer. Sit here. All right. Let me look at this the front end here. Let's mute this. Figure out where our gradient is. There it is. All right, let's bring this. All right, and I want to see what it looks like in cycles. I've been on here for almost 2 hours. Just wanted to get a refresher here. See what cycles looks like. Hopefully my stream is still going. It's using my CPU here. What's interesting is that it looks like it needs more light. Let's do 2. Let's bring this to solid. Oh man, I hope my computer is not dying right now. Like, let's see if we Could we do this? All right. Oh my God, I think my computer's freezing. All right, so if we go to preferences, we go to system. What if we use optics? Da da da. And then under the render, we will put the render settings. We will do, I just done this, but did you know you can use light as a camera? Like pick a spotlight and somewhere in the options make it a camera. Yes, that's it's a good use. I have seen that. Oh, okay. I think I'm almost done. I gotta go. I got things to do, but I want to see. I haven't used. Oh, this is why GPU, guys. Jesus. That's why that wasn't working. Viewport, noise threshold. We'll do a denoiser, 100 samples. I think there's an add-on here that I need to remember to add. That's the tile render. Okay. I know you should be able to pick like, here it is. 512 is my tiling. Okay. Let's see if my render is faster. We're just waiting for the render. Loading render kernels may take a few minutes for the first time, it says at the top. And I'm still waiting. What is happening? Because it's loading it all up. Well, oh, there it is. Ah, looks a little messy. What I'm gonna do is take off the subdivision. And then render. I do not like any of these dark spots coming out. And I think it's a little too rough now. All right, let's keep it trucking. The render time and cycles is why I mostly use Eevee. I have an add-on to speeds up cycles. Yeah, I usually always use Eevee, and I've been using Eevee for like the last year, but I definitely want to, because I started off with cycles, then went to Eevee, and I'm like, you know what? I want to do one really good render. I have the graphics card for it. All right, let's see if I can. Hmm. Is it the ambient occlusion? Samples. Guess they're just close to each other, huh? Like if we did this. It looks kind of muddy. It's kind of ugly. All right, let's go back to Eevee and just call it a day. In cycles renders from viewport, an option I find viewport render speeds up rendering tremendously. The render settings still apply. Oh yeah, since I'm streaming, I'm very wary of putting a lot of strain on my graphics card while it's trying to like stream. But yes. All right. All right, and then I'm going to mess with the reflection, and then I'm done. I'm done. I got refreshed enough. I hate like these little artifacts it leaves. Let's see. This looks a little better. And then one more thing, and then we're done. World. All right. I think we're about done here. Let me do this. Cursor to selected. I'm going to delete it. Let's add in another circle. Fun little wave. Rotate 30. Let's add 64. Maybe 128. And now rotate. That. It's smooth. There we go. She has smoother lines. Still see some like this faceting here. I don't know if it's a part of like the UV. Anyway, I could probably spend a lot of time looking at this stuff. So I'm gonna end it here. Anyway, Slither and Magic, thank you for hanging out and watching and giving your input, and thank you, and I appreciate it. Everybody else who's watching, thank you for coming on the stream, and hopefully I can do more of these. I just wanted to get reacquainted with Blender for a second, basically. I'm glad I did. Made a little gradient thing going on. I hope everybody has a great day and a great night, and take care, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care.